One of the biggest false allegations surrounding this latest indictment of Donald Trump, indictment number 3, is the allegation that he doesn't believe and never believed what he's been saying about the supposed outcome of the 2020 presidential election because many people surrounding him told him that he lost.
He was told point blank by multiple people, Republicans who he had hired and who he trusted, and who told him in no uncertain terms that he lost to Joe Biden.
So for count 1, conspiracy to defraud the United States, Jack Smith and the Democrats, the liberal media industrial complex, are all claiming that Donald Trump knew and believed that he lost the election, but was lying, was conspiring, was committing fraud by, well, exercising his First Amendment about his thoughts about what really happened.
But he went on to repeat lies about election fraud and a stolen election anyway. The second part of the indictment describes the harebrained...
Actually, you'd have to be harebrained to think that somebody with an ego the size of Donald Trump's, which may literally be the biggest ego in the history of the human race, would allow itself to believe that he actually did lose. I don't say that to attack him. It's an obvious fact. So Donald Trump's ego would not even allow any consideration of the possibility that he didn't actually win, which proves the case that he's not actually lying. And his ego aside, all of the strange anomalies aside, many people also still are not convinced and will never be convinced that there wasn't something unusual that occurred regarding the outcome of the 2020 election. In fact, 60% of Republicans still think the 2020 election was illegitimate. And this is a poll from just 2 months ago. And of course, there were many straw man arguments presented about alleged voter fraud that did turn out to be untrue. But that doesn't mean that there weren't strange anomalies that still have no explanation.
There are so many unanswered questions, some of them lingering. How, for example, did senile hermit Joe Biden get 15 million more votes than his former boss, rock star crowd surfer Barack Obama? Results like that would seem to defy the laws of known physics and qualify instead as a miracle. Was the 2020 election a miracle? Honestly, we don't know. We don't expect to get an answer to it tonight.
Here's Joy Reid bewildered that despite all of these bogus charges and the countless conspiracy theories that the media has waged against Donald Trump for years, well, most Republicans completely see through them.
Is the Republican frontrunner for president? Just let that sink in for a moment. The likely Republican nominee for president has been charged with conspiracy to defraud the country he now wants to lead again. What a world.
What I find most horrifying is Donald Trump is the leading Republican candidate for president. And it is clear that...
It's clear that you and the other Operation Mockingbird assets and the Marxist Democrats in Congress have been saying for 2.5 years that Donald Trump committed an insurrection, but mysteriously, he wasn't charged with 18 U.S. Code 2383 in the indictment, nor will he be, which is the crime of rebellion or insurrection, which is described as whoever incites, sets on foot, assists, or engages in any rebellion or insurrection against the authority of the United States or the laws thereof, or gives aid or comfort thereto, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 10 years or both, and shall be incapable of holding any office under the United States. This is the only thing that would have prevented him from becoming the president again if he was found guilty of this alleged crime, but they haven't even charged him with it. They didn't even charge him, nor will Jack Smith charge him with sedition either, which is the incitement of a violent action against the government, some kind of communication or activity aimed at getting people to overthrow the state by force or to prevent it from carrying out its authority to enforce the law. Instead, they charged him with conspiracy to commit fraud or to defraud the United States and conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding, which I guess obstructing a city council meeting could also get you indicted for that. And conspiracy against rights, when the real conspiracy is the conspiracy to try to stop his rights, his First Amendment rights to have an opinion about the outcome of the election, or to encourage people to peacefully and patriotically march to the Capitol in hopes of convincing Mike Pence to reject certifying the electoral count tallies and then sending the decision back to the state legislatures.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
And while the media won't stop whining about January 6th, we can never forget that the Black Lives Matter insurrectionists literally set a church on fire across the street from the White House during their attempted insurrection. An insurrection that resulted in the fence around the White House being replaced with a fence nearly twice as tall because the Black Lives Matter and Antifa insurrectionists almost breached the fence and could have possibly even breached the White House itself. And so to increase security measures to protect the White House from the angry Black Lives Matter George Floyd mobs, they built one almost twice as tall. But this is going to be tough because the judge that is going to be proceeding over this case was appointed by Barack Obama, and she's a diversity hire, of course, and she has already ruled in January 6th related cases and has issued punishments stricter than what the prosecutors actually were calling for. But buckle up, because the next year and a half, or really the next decade at least, is going to be beyond insane. Ron DeSantis and Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, are apparently going to have a debate. Now, they're going to debate.
You heard Gavin make the offer. Your answer is?
Absolutely. I'm game. Let's get it done. Just tell me when and where. We'll do it.
That's going to be weird. A guy running for president versus a guy who's, well, lying in wait to run for president. And there are increasing reports that suggest that Gavin Newsom may run. This is the Sacramento Bee. Is Gavin Newsom running for president? His fundraising strategy signals White House aspirations. I doubt that he would jump into the race for 2024, 2028, definitely, unless Joe Biden has an unfortunate slip and fall. But I think time is actually running out for somebody to get on the ballot. I think the middle of October is the latest in some states to actually get on the ballots for the primary. So if he's going to get into the race, it'll probably have to happen in the next 2 months. So seriously, watch your back, Joe, because we're going into uncharted territory. And by the way, this weekend, save 20% off of any of my shirts at markdice.com by using the promo code MAGA at the checkout. So order your Wanted for President shirt, your Conspiracy Theorist or Right shirt, or any of my awesome designs. All available in a t-shirt, long sleeve, and a hoodie, and a whole bunch of different colors as well. So head on over to markdice.com or click the link in the description below. Enter the promo code MAGA at the checkout to save 20% off this weekend, and check them out.